Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I am here with another planner setup for 2025. So I am making progress trying to put together all of my planners for 2025. I am doing this in August, so that way I have all of my planners for 2025 prepped before the fall release of planners. So most of the like the 2025 calendar year planners will be released in the September October timeframe, and I just wanted to be more aware, more cognizant of what I have in my stash and just be able to use up some of the things that I've already purchased. And so that is what I'm doing, is setting up these planners so that way I don't have the temptation to buy new things just because they're new and shiny. So, with that being said, then I am setting up my health planner. This will be straightforward. I am really just going to be using this planner, but let me go ahead and talk to you a little bit about what's in my health planner. So, I have been on and off with my health planner. I did not start 2024 with a health planner, but I decided to add it kind of like quarter two, like March, April timeframe, because I really just love to track my food. I'm getting older. I'm at the point where I need to know a little bit more about what types of foods trigger me and some of the symptoms that I have physically. And so it's just good to have a health log. Now, most people, when you think health, you probably think exercise. I am not an exerciser. I don't exercise. I should exercise. I know that, I should do that, but I'm not into like going to the gym or working out. I just don't like sweating. And I hate to admit that, but it's the truth. And so a lot of my health, actually all of my health, is really focused on my physical health symptoms that are triggered by food. And so I would say 98% of it is food related. The other parts of it are like I have a watch, a smart watch that tracks my steps and my sleep, and so I have some numbers related to that. But that's like I guess the only other like non-food related stuff. Everything else is just food related. So with all that being said, then I just wanted to kind of walk through some of the things that are already in here. Like I have this that I've just saved because I love it. It's from May 2020, and it's my May tracker for some health activities and self-care as well, and then I had a sleep tracker, and of course these are like completely old, but I just love the look of it, so I've been saving it. I also included in here, and I'm not sure I'll keep it in here moving forward, but I also had a meal plans section. This came from the household extension pack, and it has some of my favorite meals and some other like just other things in here. I've also got in this section, let's see, meal kit information, which I don't use anymore, so I can definitely get rid of that. And then also like a log of what's in my pantry and fridge. And so that's all in here. I have also, like I said, in quarter two of 2024, I did start a food log, and so I've got these pages in here. And so it's just mostly pen to paper, but again, I just track my food and some medications, and that's pretty much it. And so that's pretty much all that I had for 2024, is just this one little part. And so these pages in here, the previous pages, are all old notes, and I've just left it in here. And so at this point, these are super old pages. I've had these in here because I don't like to waste pages, and I've got like this side that I haven't used yet, and so I'm going to in September start finishing out some of these other pages and using these pages. Again, I've used these, but I haven't used this spread, so I want to kind of get in here and use that. I only have basically 2 weeks of these wellness pages, and so I'm going to use that for September. And then what I also have in here, again, I use one side but not the other. I also have these kids layout pages, and I want to, again, try to use this up. This I did write in it, but I can definitely wipe that out and just use these pages. And you can see it's basically all horizontal. And so for me, for food logging, I just kind of write all the things in here. And if there's like notes like this, I have to blur this out because it's old prayer notes. But if it's already been used, I will just kind of cover it up, or just tape it to the next page, or tape 2 pages together, so that way I end up with a full spread. And so I'm going to be using these pages again starting in September, and I think that I'll be able to finish out 2024 in this book with these old pages, the kids layout pages. I also have these again, older, like random horizontal pages that I've kind of stuck in here, and I want to use these up as well. And so that's pretty much what I've got in here at this point. And so, like I said, I do want to use these pages up, but I also have enough room on here. As you can see, it's like set up right now on expander discs, and there's plenty of room, right? And so one of the things that I want to do is, again, just be aware of what I've got, right? And so what I'm going to do is take this planner. This is a Disney planner. I think I flipped through this on my channel, and so if I did, I will link it in the description. But I purchased this from Amazon. The baby loves it because it's Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse. And so I am going to take this and convert it to disc bound, and combine these two together so that way I can use this for health in the future once I run out of all of these other random pages. And so I'm going to be doing that conversion here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get the baby settled and, just in the room playing so that way I can finish this project. So I am going to be converting this Disney100 planner to discbound. I mentioned in the previous part that this was from Amazon. It's actually from Walmart. Okay, so I just misspoke there. I will link it in the description if I can find it still on the Walmart website. I got it about a year ago, so it's been in my stash just waiting to be used. But the measurement here for width is about 7.5, and the height is basically about 9 inches. And so it's about ½ inch wider than the Happy Planner Classic, and it's about a 1/4 inch shorter than the Happy Planner Classic. And so that to me makes it a little bit simpler to convert, just because one of the things that you don't want to do is have your pages be like completely off center from the sizes here, but because it's a little bit shorter, it will, it has to be, it will just have to be a little bit like off somewhere. And so there's a little bit of wiggle room, basically that 1/4 inch, there's a little bit of wiggle room for us to, adjust and punch a little bit differently. And so you don't have to basically have it all the way at the very bottom and punch that way. But one thing with double coils like these, I don't know what they're called, but like to me, they're double coils. With these, one of the things that we can see very clearly, hopefully you can see this very clearly, but like when you take a look at the coils, they are spaced basically every ½ inch. And so when you look at these double coils, that means that every other one is 1 inch apart. And same thing here with discs. So discs for the Happy Planner are spaced 1 inch apart from each other. And so this means that this is a very easy conversion because you're basically punching every other one. And so again, because of the extra like wiggle room for this, I'm just going to basically punch it to where it is like this. Actually, I'm going to use this one, right? I'm going to punch it with this one and have it go up to here. So this one and this one will definitely be punched, and those will be the outer ones, and then the ones in the middle will also get their punch, but it will just be every other one. So you'll see how it works once I get into it. One of the things that you can do is try to save the coils. I hardly ever like recoil it, and so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to open it up all the way, and then just not worry about it. But you can pull apart the coils from the back, as you see here, and then if you want to save it and try to, recoil it at some point in the future, you absolutely can do that. And if you don't like to do this method and you're just like, oh, I don't want to bend the coils, you can go through and just snip basically every other one, the ones that are going to be punched. You could do that as well, but you just undo it like that, and then spin it around, and then you're able to take out the coils just like that. And again, I'm not going to keep the coils, but if you are planning to keep the coils, just be careful here that you don't warp the coils any more than you need to. This bottom one has the hook, right? So there's like this extra like little hook, so I have to bend that little part out and get it out like that, right? So again, try, if you want to save it, just make sure that you try to bend it as little as possible so that way you can kind of re-close it. But I don't use it again, so I'm just going to toss it. So with that first step done, then what I need to do at this point is kind of see where I'm going to punch. I actually do want to check here. Let me move this out of the way. I do want to check that. Okay, so there is a difference. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a difference in terms of the paper and the cover. So I'll punch the covers separately. I'm going to focus at this point on just the papers. And actually, let me check to see the dividers. Are the dividers the same? Okay, so the dividers are the same size as the papers. So I'm gonna focus on just the papers for right now. This planner does come with 13 months. And so the extra month, the 13th month, is in the front before the first divider. So let's use it as our test. And what I'm gonna do is basically use 9 of the punches. So this is my arc punch. I love the way that this punches. It punches multiple, including like the laminated, like plasticky covers that the dividers are here. So I'm going to use just 9. So I'm going to ignore these last 2, and I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the middle. And what I do is basically put it in here. And what did I say? I said I wanted to punch this one, starting with this one. So I'm skipping this one. I want to punch this one, 2, 3, and skipping every other one, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's correct. And then if I punch those, right? If I punch that one, it will still be fairly close to the size of the Happy Planner. It's maybe, I don't know that it would be off really. I think it would be about, yeah, it would be basically to the end, and it would leave basically the 1/4 inch at the top. So with that being said, then I think I'm just gonna try with it set. I have a little marking here where it is set to Happy Planner. It's not a size that comes on the arc, but I drew myself a little line. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a little tiny pink line right there. I'm going to go ahead and put it there. That way all the pages, this marker, I can, you know, just kind of know that all the pages are equal. I feel like just taking a look here, when you put it in, I'm not going to put it in all the way, but basically the middle of the punch is where you're going to kind of be working with it. And so here it lines up perfectly, and then it starts getting a little bit wonky. So I feel like I need to have it down just a tiny bit for it to be a little bit better. Right, and so it's not, the coil is not exactly 1 inch a piece, but if I punch it here, it will basically catch each of these squares and not punch into the next square and give me a stem. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with this. Let me actually double check. The only concern that I have is that I am not going to, I just don't want to punch into the next square. So let me just see if this would still be okay. All right, so right, this one, you can see it does not come into the next square. So this is all within 1 square. It's within 1 square. That's within a square, right? And even here, it's kind of getting close to the next square. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna put it kind of in the middle, right? And basically with this method, that means that the center, the one that's the most central, should be the 4th one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, I'm going to have that be basically, make sure it's dead center, right? And to me, like right in the middle, that looks dead center to me. So it's a little bit off. And so that means that when I punch it, it will be hanging a little bit lower than the Happy Planner page. But we're gonna do this as a test. All right, and so let's take a look. You can see here that this one, being the most like furthest out, it caught the square, but it also added part of the stem, part of the mushroom, and then the stem got cut in here, a little bit less of the mushroom, a little bit less. Here it's like basically within the square. This one's also within the square. This one's within the square with a tiny little mushroom, a little bit more mushroom, a little bit more mushroom, a lot of mushroom. But again, it doesn't go into the next square, and that's what I want, because if it goes into the next square, then your pages start falling apart. Okay, so it is now punched, and I'm going to go back in here, right? I flipped through this, right, and showed you all of this. So I'm going to add these pages basically to the end, and I'll show you, actually I'm gonna move this page right here so you can just kind of see what it looks like behind a Happy Planner page. So first thing is that it is, you can see here, hanging a little bit lower than the Happy Planner page, and it's a lot shorter here at the very top. So that's the first thing. I do use an arc punch, and so you can see here that the Happy Planner page has a little bit more length here, and then flipping it this way, it is, as I mentioned when I measured, it's about 1/2 inch wider. And so it will kind of match the dividers, Happy Planner dividers, but it definitely sticks out further than the Happy Planner pages, that's for sure. But otherwise, when you put it on here, it holds very nicely, right? Because I'm not adding any additional punches or anything like that. I'm just adding what is essentially the stem, so that way it can sit on discs. All right, and so I'm going to go through and punch all of the rest minus the cover. I'll do that at the very end, but I'm going to get all of these dividers and pages punched, and we'll come right back. Okay, I finished the pages. Let me go ahead and get the covers done. The covers were a little bit longer, so the length was a little bit more, but I'm going to just kind of do it the same way that I did it here. I'm just going to actually move the guide out of the way. It's the single punch. And so I am going to basically put it where it's in the middle. Sorry, not in the middle, where the fourth punch will be centered. All right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one needs to be centered. I'm turning it right here. So this one again is the fourth one, and I want that fourth one to be centered. And it's just kind of a little bit of a guessing game, right? But I'm going to put it kind of right here. Then I'll move my guide in place. All right, and punch. All right, so I moved the guide, and I noticed when I was punching the others that doing it one at a time was a little bit easier. So let's just do that. Okay. And now we're all done. Thank you, Arc Punch. I love the Arc Punch. It's a shorter stem than the Happy Planner, but I don't know. I just love it. Okay, so now it is all punched. Definitely my recommendation is if the squares line up for it, definitely try to use the squares, just because it will save you the hassle of like having to, you know, like put washi over it and repunch it, you know. Some planners you just can't do that, but if you can, then I think that's absolutely the best way of doing it. All right, so that is now in. This is the back cover. Make sure that's the right way. Yes, okay, that's the right way. And then I punched all of these, so I'm going to get it in here. I love these dividers, aren't they so cute? And I love the tabs on the top. Because of the way I'm punching it, and because it's a little bit shorter, it does stick out of the Happy Planner cover, but it doesn't stick out as much as it did when it was just a planner by itself. So I love that. I am noticing as I'm putting these on here, because these pages are, this planner is just a little bit thinner. It is a little bit finicky on the discs, so just be aware of that. It's, I think, not a matter of the discs themselves, it's more so the paper quality. Because it's a little bit thinner, it just doesn't slide as nicely on the disc. So it's kind of like using copy paper. And so when you use copy paper on your discs, you know, that can definitely be an issue. And I'm actually rub these discs down too. Maybe it is the discs. I shouldn't just blame it on the paper quality here. All right, but now I am so excited because I have it set up for the starting in September with the couple of like wellness layout pages that I have left, and just kind of use up those last little bits. And then I'm moving into horizontal, and so I'll use the Happy Planner horizontal pages until I run out of those. And then after that, I can switch to these Disney pages. And so I'm not going to worry too much about like this has to start in 2025. I'm just going to use it when I run out of the other pages. And so that's my plan, and we are going to be ready for it. Again, love these dividers. I have not been on screen, so let me just flip through them very quickly so you can see them. That's Mickey, the Disney Princess with Ariel at the top. I love that. Look at this one, Sully. I think this is so cute. Bambi. Oh, I love it. Right, I love this style. It's just so cute and cartoony. I don't know, it's just so fun, right, for a planner. And I am, again, mostly logging food, so it will be good enough for that purpose. All right, so there's the 12th right? And there's the first, and let me go ahead and flip through a month. I don't know if I ever did that. And so it is a horizontal that looks like this, and so it's undated, so I would definitely have to date. It does have a monthly like this. Actually, let me go in here. So after the divider, it has a notes page, then it has a monthly, and you can see it changes color depending on the month. Here, like the other month I showed was red, here it's blue. But it is, just like I said, undated, and it has 5 weeks, and so the paper is very thin. It's something where I don't know if I would be able to use gel pen. I feel like it would bleed through, or at least shadow or ghost, but I can definitely use ballpoint, and that's good enough for my food log, right? And so now I've got it all set up. I've got the old pages in here, and then I've got all of these new/old pages that I'm going to try to use up, right? These wellness layout pages. Then I'm moving into the kids layout. Then I'll move into the horizontal from the Happy Planner, these Happy Planner random pages that I've got. And once I run out of all of that, I will be moving into this Disney100 planner that I got from Walmart. And I don't know that I'll use the monthly, but once I get there, I might make some decisions about what to do with all of these pages. And you know, I'm just excited. I'm so excited about it. And I am now set up for another planner for September 2024 all the way through what is essentially December 2025. I can definitely go a full year with a planner in here. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, easy conversion. I think my biggest tip is really just to take it off the coils as I did in the video, and be aware of where the squares are for the coils, and just use them if at all possible. So I think it just makes it a lot easier if you're able to do that. And so that is all. I'm ready and set for my food log. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.